We'll talk about since we're talking about shut up legs. And Yancey, I told him I was talking downstairs that what I was going to ask, and he asked. I said, you can talk about anything you want, and he took great joy in that I wasn't going to put any filters on it. But when you started telling kind of the story that became, you know, Shut Up Legs, did you ever have any idea that it would become as popular as it is and take off the way that it did?
No, not at all, and I think that's the beauty about it. You don't know what it ignites the thing. It sort of became a self-igniting process. You know, people, hey, that's cool, so they told another person what they liked it, and suddenly, you know, you come to California and there's like 30 times on each climb written "shut up legs." People just on the side of the road just jumping up and down and go yeah, shut up legs, tell you to shut up. And actually really, they also support you in a good time, because I remember the first stage of Utah, who I was struggling a lot. They sent me to work. First of all, I was jet lagged, it was really hot, and I was just not ready. So I had to work hard, and like 20 Ks to go, I just really exploded. I think even because an earthquake, I exploded spectacular. So I was dead last, creeping up that climb there like a snail, almost like the speed of a snail. And people were still positive, like, yeah, come on, tell me to shut up, you can make it, you're almost there. So it's good to have some loyal fans who also stick with you when you're actually not winning.
So, obviously, outside of racing, back home in Germany, you have 6 kids, am I right? 6?
Yes. And the dog and the cat.
And a beautiful chocolate Labrador retriever, Linda.
Yes.
How many cats?
Yeah, 1 cat. It's a ginger-colored lava.
We're giving you the full breakdown. What I'm kind of alluding to is obviously off the bike you have a big family. What do you guys like to do together when you're not on the bike and when you're at home?
Well, it's sort of like, you know, when I come home, the kids see me coming, and somebody else, hey, Daddy's coming back. So I just have enough time to, like, you know, I keep my bikes on hooks in my garage, so I just hang the bike up there. And then the kids are hanging on my legs and arms. Daddy, play with me first. No, we do this first. Daddy, we go fishing. No, Daddy, we go homework. No, Daddy, come with me. I want to watch this movie with you. So it's like, can we have a quick drink of water, quick? Maybe a shower first? So they keep you busy. They keep you busy. Sort of like, ever heard of this new modern disease, burnout syndrome? What sometimes the Hollywood people have? You know, I have that every night, but I just can't give in to it. Life has to keep going the next day. So every night I'm like, I feel like the truck just run over me. But yeah, you can't give in to it. You just gotta keep getting up the next day and do it again. And everybody who has kids probably knows what I'm talking about, right?
Well, I think even Linda's the same way. You're always, she seems to be ready for you to walk her as well, correct? So,
yes, she is, yes.
She's always waiting with the leashes when he told me. So, obviously, what sports, are there any sports that you kind of like to follow? Obviously, everybody knows you for cycling. Or anything that you take a personal interest in, or that you like watching? I know your kids are in sports, but...
I do like a lot of sport, and I watch sort of like most of it, all of it. I really particularly, I like in winter, is it biathlon? You know, the guys on the skis to do the shooting. Biathlon?
Biathlon.
Yeah, biathlon. I really like that a lot. And just when you mentioned fly fishing, actually, you know, Ben and me, we not only have the geocaching in common, he explained me a lot of things about fishing, because I just picked it up like last year with my kids, and he had given me like a few inside tips, and also we both really like bow and arrow shooting. So I shoot in my backyard sometimes, and he was giving me some really helpful tips. So actually, in this case, he was my professor, my teacher.
Archery. They're going to go in all kinds of biathlons, archery. Can you see Jens cross-country skiing with a gun? So off the bike, obviously, people seem to really want you to get into television. I know you talked about it a little bit in an interview that I read. Once you retire, is that something that you'll consider and have you even thought about it?
Well, I'm afraid to go to TV, I'm just not beautiful enough. I mean, just look at my nose, it's way too long. So I wouldn't have a chance. I'm not fishing for compliments here. I'm not just being realistic. But sometimes in the team bus, we joke about that we should have a reality show in the Voigt house. Yeah. And people say that would be such a success. You know, having like, I don't know, 20 cameras in our house, the daily life of the Voigt family, 6 kids, the dog, the cat, and my mother-in-law living with us. Can you imagine? There's not one silent second in this house.
I'm pretty sure we can get that picked up in the US pretty quickly. I'm sure NBC would pounce at that opportunity just to show it here. Obviously, you have a very, very strong connection with the fans. They seem to hang on every word. They seem to be waiting for you and just love to be around you. What what riders do you kind of watch, or that you like to listen to or respect, or that have a great connection with their fans that you kind of draw from?
Well, I would say Chris Morton is a good example there. He's really close to the fans. And he also got some funny stories to tell. You know, he's been in the business for quite some years. You know, and he talks a little slower than me, but you know, he's a really funny guy. It's absolutely cool to watch him. You know how he interacts with the fans. I mean, when we go to California, people cheer when he opens the door of the bus steps out. People just go all crazy, all mad about him. So that's pretty good. Sometimes it's interesting to follow Markel Irizar because he really speaks his mouth. He has no filter. Out of his mouth in a second, and you know, you go, oh wow, that's pretty brave. You know? That's pretty entertaining to follow him a little bit.
So obviously, when you're out on the road, you get a chance to, when you're covering some miles, and sometimes you're only able to focus on what's in front of you. But there are other times that are more lighthearted, or more where you guys are not racing as hard. What's the kind of the funniest or oddest thing you've ever seen out on the road that while you were racing, or that you'll remember?
Well, I would say, if I have enough time, it would be.
Oh, you have plenty of time.
Like in the Tour de France one day, you know, going RPS, finish was RPS, so I just managed to hang on to the bottom and just get my, you know, get Andy Schleck in the right position to fight it out with the yellow jersey, with Evans and Contador. So I'm dropped from the front group, but I'm way ahead of the peloton, so I'm just all by myself, riding up my speed, you know, saving energy for the next day. There was a week to go. So I'm just like in my little dream world, riding up this climb. Suddenly somebody yells, "Jens, I want to have your baby." And I look over, and there's a 55-year-old man. It's like really like that, having beer like that. 50-year-old, "Jens, I want your baby." Oh, really? And I did speed up a little bit. Another fun thing is here in the US, there's this guy, probably all have seen him on TV, the guy with the horns.
Yes.
He shows up with like Texas Longhorns. The next day he got like a wild gold sort of like horns, and he got the endless there, so every day something new. And he's pretty strong. He runs quite a while beside you. He's pretty strong, that guy is.
That ever scare you when they get too close?
Sorry?
Does it ever scare you when they get too close?
No, I never had a problem with that. No, never. So that's all good.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you one more chance. We've got a little bit more time. Any story that you want to share about your trip, or anything that's really stood out that you've enjoyed, or your favorite story to tell that you can tell to a big crowd?
Oh, is everybody above 18 years old here? Just kidding. No, I was saying that this trip, it has been really, really entertaining, you know, and you guys really taking good care of us to make sure we were all happy. Started off in a good way in Nashville, Tennessee, you know, had even one evening in time to like just walk up and down the main street there to listen to some live music and stuff. Coming here, the day on the river was pretty awesome. But really rewarding was that day on Thursday afternoon where we went to that school. Like us three together went to a school. They were all 5th grades in Fort Worth. 5th grade from 9 to 10 years old. And they, in such an innocent way, they are so honest in their questions they ask you, and then they just soak up every word you say, and that was just really good. We had some little fun games with them, and question answer, and you could see that the kids were really like eyes wide open, and that was really rewarding. I mean, okay, for me as a dad, you know, one of my daughters, Adriana, she's 9 years old, so she's about that age, like the kids were there, and that was really rewarding. I think we should do more of this events. It was really nice. Like, you know, gives you the warm feeling here. You go, I have done something nice. I really, you know, touched the kids and hopefully changed a little bit. You know, we were talking about like our partners to stay fit, healthy, happy. So that was a really good moment.
Well, guys, I want to thank all of you for coming up here. We're going to give you guys a chance to get some autographs last night. So, Matty Busche, Voigt, Markel, and Tiago. So, if you guys want to start coming up, we'll let everybody do some autographs and get a chance to have some fun.